All right. Thank you so much for getting connected with us, Global Helmets across the globe. This is Heritage Global Mentorship Institute, and we're so delighted to have everyone from Asia, Australia, Europe, and South Americas getting connected with us. And we are so delighted to have you here again for this Heritage Global Mentorship Institute multi-seminar series level point zero. Once again, I wish everyone happy new year. So I want you to know that Heritage Global Mentorship Institute is an organization that provides mentorship and programs, trainings, and development opportunities to individuals, particularly young people, to help them achieve their personal and professional goals. So our programs and services varies on mentorship, training and development, coaching, and networking opportunities. And we are so much to have you all here to get connected with us and to drink from the well of our expertise. Today, we are bringing to you on January edition of our monthly seminar series from a respective leader across the globe, all the way from Peru, that is New York City. She's of no other person, Isabel Fiafilo Rodriguez. She is an economics with experience in public investments, planning, and open government, supplemented by studies in open departments and government innovations and sustainable development. She is of no other person who have held representative positions. What I mean by positions, and being an active members rather of national and international organizations. She is honored to have received the Napolitan Award from the Washington Academic of Politicals at Science, winning the Youth Leadership Award in 2021 and recognized as a rising star in both 2021 and 2022 and 2023. So, additionally, she has authored opinion articles on topics including open data, governance, education, sustainable development,
Acá escucho mi voz.
public
Cuando hablo,
and
escucho bien.
international levels. So she has autographed chapters in Futures in the book 30 China Stars in the World 2022. So permit me
Hola, hola.
to welcome a phenomenal leader, Isabel Fafilo, all the way from Peru. Thank you very much. You are welcome, ma.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and to share some ideas, experience in this space. It's important for me to share some topics about in my experience with with my different colleagues around the world, in special Latin American people, because it's interesting to share in general. I think that it's important to connect with people the other country. And I thank you for the invitation.
You are welcome. So far we have seen how you have been passing life through your area of expertise. Can you give us more like how you able to skate through even as a feminist in your area of expertise, how you are able to do it and how you able to accumulate all the awards in this tender age. We see that life can happen to us, life will happen to us, and we must happen to life.
Yes, and I think that I consider it's important to participate of female in different situation, different sector, because it's important to generate some visibility, some in some space participation in in different space. However, and I think that is important, or the first or the principles in my experience, participation in the female leaders, because it's in the NGOs in general. In general, however, in the public sector and private sector, and I think that the last years, the position of the female leaders is more visible. And I think this important to connect with a different experience or with the through the life of the female leaders or the space on the participate, for example, at university, at school, science school is important. So um, to connect with different courses, to adapt it to the different space. However, I think it's important to come down step by step the different shape around the world, and especially on the life, because the when I generate or the first step with obtain the change in person change is important, because what is the visibility, what is the vision about this change, and what is the impact for the society or the family in special too. And I think that it's important to the change is the principal objectives to understand the reality, the different change in the special situation, uh, generate different space to networking too is the contribution with the change. In my case, I consider with the participate in different space in NGOs, in personal to the principal time example. I contribute with my career to get my, or the general different interests with the different topics in my case, and I adapt to the change in general in my career, in my work, and I identify some topics to one and I some topics in relation with my different studies. However, it's important to identify when it is the the space where the participate is a good, or when I make contribution is better. I think that is important to all people connect with different people around the world and identify what is the better life, what is the better world in the better contribution in this NGO, in this space, in general, in this community.
That's great. That's great. We have seen that you are able to thrive through these NGO aspects, and you have been able to to challenge this situation around you to go far and fast in that area. But there's one thing I want the world to know, that gender is not a barrier, and the background is not a limitation for us to become. So for us to transit to the place we ought to be, we have to start from the mindset, because mindset is everything, attitude is everything. So what we have is plenty. So we have to use what we have to become who we eventually want to be. So at this point, traveling against all odds, I want to know what are the limitations that are before you, and you are able to overcome them during your tender age as you work towards personal development. Yes.
Yes, and you speak some ideas, and I think interesting because and I speak about my experience, about what the experience of the older colleagues in different spaces, especially NGOs. Because we participate, or the people in general participate in this space in particular, it is important to adapt this in this context, because because independent when they start the NGO, it's important to create a multidisciplinary group and understand with that all people in this group have the different capacity to contribute and generate some ideas and create a planning, the vision to the first year, to the 2 years, to the 3 years in special too. And I think that it's important to plan in this. In this space, and I consider which is important because it's open opportunities to create some ideas to concrete these ideas and obtain the goals when I start the NGOs. Uh, Now, the other space, for example, when the NGO is constitution with in the 2 years or no, when the people enter to this NGO, and I think that this it's important to adapt this focus or those great ideas when they start some years ago. I think, and I think that this other challenge, other models to adapt at this space. I think that it's possible to create some limited idea or some limited to participate in some space. So, and I think that in general, the contribution is important to adapt in this independent of the context. Um, and I take, for example, the decision to contribute with special topics for an education in, on the innovation, on the inclusion too, because independent of this context, when I speak, it's necessary to select which is the community to impact in general with a different objective for different projects. And I think that it's important to contribute, but I consider this done important with the different challenge, with different aspects, with the models to work to obtain the goals. And I think that is the principal objective. The principal goal is what is the impact to the per people in general too. And I consider with a limit situation or the limit position, it's not necessary. It's necessary to adapt. However, it's important to obtain some knowledge, to obtain the goals, to the impact to the community in general. And I think that is the good function in Latin America and in general participate. In my case, and I don't remember in 2016, I participate. I in one NGO, the first NGO with with partnership people. One and I think that is a very election for me because it's a person in contact with entrepreneurship reality in the community. We have a different problem to understand some topics in marketing, in in different and obtain goals, build etc. And I see that it's important to adapt it in this context with a professional. And it was just important to adapt to create some easy ideas to contact with the community because it's important to obtain the feedback and create question to the community. Okay, understand that this explanation or this topic, and I obtain in my case, and I'm very grateful with different for community because I understand with it and obtain some knowledge, the experience to the community, and I am very grateful because I obtain some gratitude for me and in an item that is a the NGO is important to connect with other people, and I believe this important contest visit, and I very happy to contribution in different space. What is one example for my participation in NGO?
Wow, that is top notch in that area. I love that force. You are a rare force to be reckoned with in that area, in which you give yourself to connections, because that area of networking bring more lights to what you are going for, to what you are doing, and to what you are becoming. So I've seen that area, and I've seen and be able to tread more light in that, throw more light in that you can't just see you are young man, young woman, and be fasting and praying and be saying you want to become this, or you want to be work for God in this area, and you think they are only reading the Bible and praying. There's one thing I want people to understand about the New Year resolution. That New Year resolution is not just about writing on a paper and leaving it there. A resolution is a prayer point in which you put into action. So you are not sharpening your skills, you are not investing in yourself, you are not building capacity, you want to become great person. Ha ha ha. This can't be in that area of what we are talking of. So don't be a young man, don't be a young woman, all in doing, that is all you are doing is just pray, pray and fast. So you think money don't drop on your laps, and even if you are going to be working in that area of God, you need to sharpen your skills. If you are going to impact life, you need to sharpen your skills. If you are going to leave an indelible ink, you need to sharpen your skills. So because there's a saying that growth will cost you, not growing also will cost you. So all we have to do is to do what? Choose the growth. That is, choose the growth we are beckoning on. That is, we are working on. So at this point, I've been able to work on that area of connections, and I'm giving it to the global audience there that never underestimate every connections that is in your circle. That is, you need to know how to connect, communicate, and to collaborate in this area. All right. So thank you so much. So my next question is on this aspect of being able to earn from what you have been able to indulge, to sharpen, to equip inside of you. How are you able to monetize that area? What are the steps you took? What are the areas you put in place? And what are the KLT, the know, like, and trust process in which you are able to put in places for you to able to sustain yourself and to earn a living? You get my point?
Okay, okay. I listen about your experience, about your ideas, and I find very interesting because the connection between different space, for example, now when I live in Peru, and you started staying in other country, and this connection is very grateful. However, and I can identify that some experience and some problems about the the context in general to adapt to the leaders, especially young leaders. Because when uh, for example, participated in Science 200 page 15, I don't remember. Uh, I think that the select with the first years because and I open my eyes and identify something experience and and I know I meet some people to because and I admire in special to uh, with some ideas national person international person and I think that is through my career identify some leaders identifies some good leaders when it's special 25 years because and then I see that okay and I would like to uh, to to create some ideas to obtain this objective this goal with this leader. However, and I think that is through my career since final my career in 2013 and identify this different space, participate in some, and I meet some people. And I think that it's important to identify, yeah, and I put my proposal in general to the obtain that different motivation with a young leader, in special the girls leader, because analysis this is, the last years identifies on the motivation is more visibility around the world. Where I think that it is important to identify what is a good leader to the follow in general to uh, science identify these topics when I work, when I would participate. It is important to connect with the follow. The second point I said is important to with create some space to capacity study alone identify different space what is important to contribution because when I participate in some space when I don't identify the good ideas or for example it's very difficult to connect with a, group of people in this NGO in the special or other space I think I don't need the it space. It's not possible to follow in this group because it not connect with the people in general or with or the goals in general to the objective of different projects. And I think that's this point is important to connect with these people. And I identifies other points is in relation with the career because we identify the leaders in national or international. However, isn't it necessary to identify okay my reality and I study my master or study the different courses. However, it's important. Okay, with obtain this graduate with the leader, I it's necessary to 5 years more or 10 years more. However, it's necessary to adapt the reality and create space to grow the personal growth, but step by step. And I think that is all people, it always necessary to all people to adapt the different reality, to know different courses or masters or other careers to adapt in relation to reality. And the most important is obtain some knowledge and adapt with the reality for the people. In sort of close this idea, it is important to the propose with the people, generate some motivation, create some space to generate resilience, and it's important to obtain, in my case, I focus about the personal growth in general. So, uh, year by year, I analyze an introspection. But okay, what is my objective here in the work, in this work? And I this is necessary to obtain some this ideas, this knowledge, and this decide to to connect with different people. In my case, and I have motivation to continue grow my personal growth and connect with the community, which is I think is important for me. Create this aspect and create impact. Yes. Another point is necessary to adapt it, with a connect with other people because it's necessary to connect with other people because only people is possible to obtain that grow personal growth. However, with some college with identify this of this goal, identify to work in group, and I think that's important too. And I think that is don't listen.
Okay, wow, that is a
Okay.
top-notch section. That is bravo, bravo, bravo. That is something we have to stick into because relationship matters in our areas of growth. So that's what I'm trying to the global audience that the only living, what making is an honest living. The only living worth making is an honest living. That is, you need to be honest in whatsoever you are doing. In any living you are making for, you have to make sure that you are honest in everything because you have to focus on your vision and stay with it until it is that is until it stand that is until it's standing to stay focused on that vision. And when we're talking about focus, that is FOCUS. That is follow one course until success. That's focus. Follow one course until success. If it takes you to face one area of that particular skills, of that particular field, of that particular work in which you found yourself doing, you need to make sure that you put in all your best. There's difference between good, there's difference between better, and there's difference between best. Good, better. When you're talking about best, at least you put in all your all into it. That is how we can get it right. We can hear from our guest speakers talking about how she puts all her best in getting connected to make sure that she stands against all the odds facing her. So no visions speaks at the beginning. I want us to all know that no vision speak at the beginning. So we need to abide in the calling. So abide in the calling. That's how we can get through. That's how we can stay true. And that's how we can become. So abide in the calling where you are called, working or not, it will work. So eat and run visionaries don't have a vision if you stay with it. So it takes a focused visionaries to impart in the world. It's a focused visionary that you can impart the word. So God is not a joker. He mean what he says and do what he says. So if we want God to help us in whatsoever we are doing, we have to also work towards it. So stay where you belong. That's one way to impart. That's one way to impart. We need to stay where we belong. And your fingerprint is different from another person's body, anybody's another person's own. Our fingerprints, our fingerprints are different, so different. from everyone else. So do don't do what everybody else is doing. So you have to do what you are born to do. So if you mess it up, you will not you mess it up forever. So if you mess it up, you mess it up forever. That's what we need to know. Locate your place and settle down. Thrive. Locate your place and settle down and thrive. So at this point, before we draw the curtain close, I'm giving it back, open the floor back to our guest speaker. I want you to challenge our global audience in what areas that they need to put in place, what and what they need to kickstart, and what they need to eliminate out, put aside for them to stand out as we journey through this new year 2025. Over to you.
Okay, thank you for this question. In my case, and I consider with in my experience in general too, I consider with that some words when and I think that is my best words in my life, resilient and generate motivation because it's important to connect with me and understand with my situation too. And what is that important because Anna is important to understand what is my motivation to continue to my personal growth and increase some experience because and I think that is what is the experience to obtain. But what the first time I obtained my experience now and what happened now? It's a question when I consider with a last 5 years ago because and I understand what is the motivation with the consideration with the connect with different people and I and I think that for me and I share some ideas with people around the world. It's important to work in a space with the is important to the person consider the ideas to the experience because it's happy. However, when I people participate in other space with a difficulties more visibility, and I see that is important situation. To all people is necessary to understand. In my case, and I participate a different challenge and different difficult to continue. When I obtain this motivation, but and I didn't understand what happened to what happened with this person because it's not problem for me. I understand with the people have the different problem, the family and the war, or the other problem in general. However, it's necessary to identify with the first capacity with the connect with other people. I identify what is the first motivation with a continue to participate to grow. But this is necessary to identify with that important. All people are important to the society, and special in the space on what part, what the work. And I think that is the challenge, the different difficult with the people through around the life in the world impact with the person in general because it's not important to it's important to impact with the society. What is the impact for me? What is the impact for the family? Because when a different difficult with a person obtain, uh, it's necessary to create this a good space with the family, with the first friends or the best friend, because it's that comfortable to the with our life in this space. And I consider it's important to obtain some impact with the society and obtains impact around the family or the group or the small group with with obtain some experience with a comfortable when a different difficult to the people participate or obtain this. And then finally, and I would like to share some ideas because it's important to connect with people in the other country because the globalization is important. It's necessary to adapt a different challenge. And I think that is in my case, in this year, and I write some challenge in the paper because and it's more visibility for me. Okay, it's important to contribute my health this year, for example, or obtain some knowledge about my personal health, and then I practice sports, and I practice some other category within I understand, and when I don't think this is a obtain. For example, in my case, and I practice some tango, which is a principal dance for Argentina, because and I obtain so okay. I think that is more interesting to practice. Or for example, and I like runs a lot. My goal is okay, and I would like to run 10 kilometers or more, for example. Because and when I obtain these goals, it's necessary to adapt my hours in my work, my family, my career, etc. And I think it's important to write what is the principal goal. And I think that is important for me in this year 215, and I focus about my health and practice more sport because Anna is necessary for me. But that and I recommendation is well, all people with that don't put limits for no different other aspects. In not focus about the career or the work because it's important to attain some other knowledge and meet other people in other space. And I think that is very, very, thank you so much for this space and share some ideas, some experience for me this year.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. That's a very good motivation for us all not to limit ourselves. Whatsoever we want to do, need to set high goals, need to set aim big, think big, and that's how we can acquire them. I love that aspect. It's a challenge to me personally also that we need to make sure that in whatsoever we are working towards as we go into this new year, we need to not limit ourselves. That is, always remember to the audience getting across to us that one thing on the road to the success, one thing on the road to success, there is to always we, not me. That is, two people can achieve more than one. So when we do things together, we can go far and fast. So do not think that you alone can do it, so can achieve things. So no, 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 it can't happen like that. We need to connect. So me connecting with our global speaker today, it's something that we need to do more. Sorry for the breakout section from this end. Okay, as I was saying, welcome back. Let's wait for the breakout section. And this is what I want everyone to know, that we need to know where we belong and stay where we are. Stay where you belong. And that's how we can become on this area. So do not do things alone. At this point, know that there is, oh no, there along, there is always another person who is standing behind you. Know that there is always another person who is standing behind you. Maybe not coming on the forefront, maybe not coming on the forefront, but behind you. But behind you, know that praying for you and supporting you. Never lose that person. Never, never. You build capacity in secret. You see it in public. You show it in public. So you're becoming, live a best life. Live a best life. Thank you once again for everyone getting connected with us. Remember, this is Heritage Global Mentorship Institute, and on a mission to bringing up transnational evolutions and phenomenal leaders across the globe through our revamped mentorship programs, events, conference, seminars, and series of events we have in our stables. Once again, I'm leader Joshua Dora by name, lead and personal development strategist and trainer, the purpose engineer coach, also known as the purpose engineer. Thank you so much. Let's exploit together and thrive, not just survive. We are with you to get connected with us for our next edition of our monthly seminar series. That's a February edition. Stay tuned and connect with us in all our social media platforms on Facebook, IT Global Mentorship Institute, Instagram, HGMI, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, www.youtube.com/@HGMI Institute. Love you all. I'm cheering on you and rooting for you. Say, come your way next time. Leave. You're welcome.